Hey guys, welcome to the Go Headquarters podcast. I am Brandon Rahe and I'm flying solo today. So 3 days ago, from me filming this episode anyway, I kind of tweaked my back pretty bad. It's actually on a Saturday morning doing some snatches, and I wasn't doing anything particularly crazy. I'd warmed up. I was kind of what I thought was ready to go anyway, and hurt my back pretty something fierce. I was kind of locked up for 24 hours, and then I was using a baseball bat as a cane for another 24 hours after that. Somewhat entertaining now in hindsight, but I'm still hurting, and this sparked the idea for this podcast, which is, hey look, you're tweaked, you're hurt, what do you do? So here's my story. The first day, for me anyways, low back injury. My back, I knew it was muscular based on the symptoms. I didn't have any shooting leg pain. I didn't have any crazy, like I blew a disc and needed surgical repair type of symptoms. So I kind of knew this was just muscular. My low back was really seized up. It was not allowing me to move. And any contraction at all of my low back musculature hurt pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie, I was in a fair amount of pain. So I kind of spent the next 24 hours in a recliner for the most part, but I forced myself to get up every 3 or 4 hours to kind of let the dog out and just get myself mobile. The research I know says the more you are up and about, typically for that, the faster you're gonna recover. If you just stay committed to being bedridden for multiple days in a row, that can actually extend the length of time you are bedridden. So I knew I needed to force myself to get up no matter how bad it hurt. Obviously that's not true in all cases, so you've got to kind of know what you're dealing with. I felt confident in what I was dealing with, so I had no issues moving around. That being said, the next day I was a little bit better getting out of the recliner that next morning after a night of not much sleep, and forced myself to go on a couple miles worth of walking throughout the day the next day. And then the second day I was much better. I was back to work by Monday, but not lifting anything, not really wanting to squat or move a barbell around. But I did work out that day. So how did I work out? Well, I picked moves that I knew weren't going to engage my problem. So I did decompression type of exercises. So I stuck with pull-ups and bar dips, things that didn't take a lot of core contraction in the time being. I knew moving my legs was going to be more problematic, so I stayed away from squats and lunges and step-ups, and I couldn't sit comfortably, so rowing and riding the air bike was out. Running wasn't going to work, so I had this huge list of things not to do. But all I needed was 1 or 2 things that I could do, and that's where I diverted my attention. I didn't sit there and dwell on what I couldn't do, and I'm still dwelling on that because my first workout was yesterday. I have to go work out right now, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do right now. But I have this huge list of things I can't do. Okay, that's fine. I am succumbing to that. I get it. I'm not going to dwell on it. But what do I have on this list over here? 1 or 2 things? Perfect. That's all I need. And I'm going to work that to intensity. I'm going to be smart about it. I'll warm into it to check that it's okay. And then I'm going to hit it as hard as I possibly can to continue moving on with my health and fitness. And I feel that's actually going to help me heal faster. I'm not just going to sit here and say, oh, my back's tweaked, I'm not going to do anything this week until it's better. That's just unrealistic. That's going to be too much time, and I know I'm going to get back up to speed by moving it. Plus it just feels better. Psychologically, knowing that I am doing something for me is going to feel better than doing nothing and trying to rest until I'm well, because let's face it, that usually takes forever until we feel 100%. So I'm going to try a few things right now, see how it feels, and update you accordingly. So that's it. All right, so I'm gonna play with a little shoulder press. I'm starting with just an empty barbell. I don't wanna test anything real heavy. This is gonna be my first test of compression on the spine. So this does take a little core engagement to stabilize. I don't have any expectations here. So that's another thing when you're testing with injuries. Just kind of feel some things out, you know, and if it's not happening that day, it's not happening. And you know, no big deal if you need to abandon it and go to plan B. So I'm definitely more aware of my core than I maybe normally would be here. I always want to brace for that, but when you're tweaked, you want to be kind of extra careful. If anything, it gives you more incentive, I think, to do things properly and pay attention to technique over maybe going fast or moving heavy loads. So I can feel if I get a little too archy, I definitely feel low back sensations that I don't normally feel, and I don't really want to feel today because it's a little painful. So my glutes are extra tight right now doing this. But I feel like I could get away with this for a while as long as I'm not going too heavy. All right. I feel like that's a successful test anyway for a few reps. So the other day I did some pull-ups and they were kind of a little bit uncomfortable in ways. So I'm going to deload a little bit to ring rows. I have higher hopes of this than I did for pull-ups, just because my feet are grounded and I can regulate the weight of this a lot easier. Again, looking for details and keeping my core nice and neutral and getting a good shoulder blade squeeze. I'm not worried about making this too heavy. The tests as a theme just don't need to be heavy. You need to be able to just perform it in a controlled manner, pain-free, and that means you're moving. You're still in the game. So that's the moral of the story here. So I think anything that keeps me neutral right now, meaning I'm not having to tilt forward in an anterior way or arch in some big way, those are going to be the pain-free things for me right now. Even demonstrating that little bit's a little uncomfortable. So putting any object out in front of me is maybe going to be a little uncomfortable because that object is going to want to pull me down. So I'm trying to keep things just in line with my spine. So for right now, I'm actually going to do some side raises because my spine, as you can see, shouldn't really be moving. So if you're looking at me from the side, my arms and the weights should be right in line with that plane of my body, as opposed to if I did like a front raise, that's going to want to put forward kind of pressure on me, and therefore my back's got to contract to fight that that load. So doing a bunch of these I think is going to be totally fine. This feels real comfortable. I could probably do as much weight as I wanted to as long as I'm staying neutral spine. So yet another successful test. So even picking up a 45 bar to attempt a bicep curl, just holding this bar, I can feel that it is wanting to pull me forward, and I feel my low back working just standing here holding this. So as a test to do a normal bicep curl, this normally wouldn't be a big deal, but I feel my low back doing a whole lot of work. So I actually don't think I would continue with this exercise for another couple days. Not that I do a lot of these anyway, I'm just doing some tests to show successes and failures. Yeah, I mean, I feel my back contracting pretty good with each rep. And normally it's not something I would feel. I'm just really hypersensitive to it right now. So doing those for demonstration, but that's not something that's gonna give me a lot of return on my investment right now. Especially since there's maybe a little feedback that might even set me back a little if I get carried away. So I'm gonna shut that one down and try something else. 1002, 1003, 1004, deep burn. Yeah, this one feels fine. Decompression, just isolating the triceps, obviously. I don't feel any low back contractions here at all. If anything, I feel a little ab engagement to stabilize, and I'm just being guarded. But this is fine, I could do these all day. I could probably work this one pretty intensely, as heavy as I wanted to go, as many reps as I wanted to do. Boom. So anyway, there you have it. A couple exercise tests to see what it was I was able to do today with the tweaked low back. Definitely not feeling so hot. I don't want to get back into clean and jerks and snatches and heavy back squats right now. I probably won't return to those till maybe the end of this week, 5 to 10 days out from injury, to be determined. I just don't know when that stuff's going to return. But in the meantime, I'm going to play with all this other stuff, stay as fit as possible, keep moving, keep psychologically healthy, stay as strong as I can, and hopefully heal fast and eat my Wheaties. And that's about it. So if you're tweaked, talk to your coach, find out what you can do. But the main thing is stay in communication, show up, do what you can do, keep moving, and do your best. See you guys next time.